Ravens fans, there's lots of excitement in Baltimore right now. The Ravens obviously are in a position where they can win Sunday's game against the Browns. Then they have a home playoff game the next week as division champs. So lots to talk about this week. Let's go ahead and dive into your questions in this week's mailbag. The first question comes to us from Lakers fan forever. He's maybe a Ravens fan too, I guess.
Sure, I guess so.
Yes, but the question is, how far can this team go?
Yeah, well, I'm going to continue that excitement, and I think this team can go all the way. I really do, and that's not just me working for the team, and it's not hyperbole. I mean, I think this team has shown it. They're right there with the Chiefs, should have beaten them. It was a miracle play by Mahomes to really beat the Ravens at the end. Right there with the Saints, who are probably the NFC's best team. They have home field advantage. They are the #1 seed in the NFC. Right there, could have beaten them, should have taken them to overtime if Justin Tucker makes that extra point. So, to me, the Ravens have shown that they can slay all of the Giants in the NFL. And now they proved that they did do it. They actually did it in LA against the Chargers on a short week. They had a long week. Really, the chips were stacked against them. So, to me, the Ravens, by virtue of playing having a different formula, by virtue of having a #1 defense and being able to run the ball and win these December games when some of these hot offenses are cooling, now all of a sudden it's a very level playing field. It's anybody's game, and why not the Ravens?
Yeah, I actually subscribe to the theory that a lot of people in the media are talking about right now, which is I don't think there's many teams that want to see the Ravens right now for the reasons that you're talking about. All right, this question comes to us from Garnett West, and the question is, how much money do I have to give out of my paycheck to keep Zadarius Smith? Well, I think a lot of people around here would certainly want to keep Zadarius Smith in Baltimore, but it is going to cost a lot of money. So, Garnett, if you've got about $15 million a year that you want to cough up.
How big is that paycheck? That's my question.
Exactly. If you want to go ahead and donate about $15 million towards the Ravens salary cap, then I think your Ravens have a pretty good chance to keep him. Because I do think it could be in that ballpark. When you look
15.
I don't know if it's going to be, but it's going to be mega money. The salary cap next year is going to jump to $190 million. So there's going to be some team that's enamored with pass rushers. We've seen this here in Baltimore in years past. I mean, the guy that Zadarius Smith has been compared to since he arrived in Baltimore is Pernell McPhee. And he went out and got a huge contract. Paul Kruger before that, Donnell Ellerbe. There's a history of these guys. Like, I look at a guy like Melvin Ingram, who on the Chargers, who the Ravens just played. Pretty similar kind of stats to Zadarius Smith. He's making $16 million a year, got a 4-year, $64 million contract. So
I don't think Zadarius is going to get that kind of money because he plays alongside of a lot of other good defensive players, and I think that kind of will dampen his value a little bit, you know? He's not like a Pro Bowl guy this year. He hasn't put up as gaudy stats as Ingram has.
Actually, yeah, as you look at their numbers, it's really not that different.
Previous?
Yeah.
Previous to this year?
Yeah, previous to this, the first 5 years of Ingram's career and compare it to Zadarius Smith, his first 4 years, pretty comparable. Now, look, I don't think he's going to get $16 million a year, but my point is that this is a guy that somebody's going to pay big money, and it only takes one team. So, Garnett, go ahead and cough up a lot of bucks if you're looking to keep Z here in Baltimore. All right, let's keep moving here. The final question today comes from Aaron Terry, and the question is John Harbaugh a Coach of the Year candidate? He has to be at least in the conversation, right?
Yeah, I think he does. I mean, you look at this team on a 3-game losing streak, nobody would have expected them to be where they are right now. And you're transitioning starting quarterbacks from a franchise guy in Joe Flacco who won you to a Super Bowl to a rookie quarterback. That's a hard transition to make, both PR-wise, inside the locker room-wise, and on the field-wise, where you're transitioning to an entirely different offense. The fact that the Ravens weaved in some of that stuff from Lamar Jackson over the summer, kind of kept it rolling through the early part of the season, then went full force with it, that really speaks to John and his staff. So, yes, I think that he should be in the conversation for Coach of the Year, especially, obviously, the Ravens would have to get to the playoffs, I think, for that to happen. But why not? I mean, he's done a fantastic job kind of balancing veteran and rookies, a lot of rookies stepping up on this team. There's some other good candidates. Nagy out in Chicago has really turned them around as a first-year head coach. But I don't think John Harbaugh gets enough credit as he should.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's the new guy that a lot of people look towards rather than somebody who's been there.
And some of the top teams like a McVay, the Rams, and in
Sean Payton,
New Orleans, Sean Payton, exactly.
The offense.
Exactly. But I think that John Harbaugh, when you look at all the different factors and the difficulties in this transition that they've undergone, he deserves it.
Yep. All right, so next up for the Ravens, Sunday against the Browns. They got to win this one, and they're in the postseason as division champs. That's it for us this week, but as always, we'd love to hear from you guys, so send in those questions on social media using the hashtag RavensMailbag. Have a great day, guys.